you so much. The MKP. Okay, Honorable Shongwe.
He will join shortly, Ida.
Thank you. The DA, Honorable Breitenbach.
Good morning, Chair. She will be with us. She is on the platform. She just said she'll join shortly.
Okay, Honorable Topper. I assume the person speaking is Honorable Cameron, isn't it?
It is indeed, Chair.
Okay.
And why would that be?
Honorable Breitenbach.
Yes.
We are moving to the EFF. Honorable Malema.
Morning, Chair. Honorable Malema will be joining us shortly. This is Honorable Leanne.
Thank you so much, Honorable Matthews. Can we move to the IFP, Honorable Mwango? The Patriotic Front, the Patriotic Alliance, Honorable Salt.
Salute, Chairperson, because upper boss.
Thank you so much, Honorable Salt. Can we move to the Freedom Front plus Honorable Vessels?
Present, thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much. Can we move to Action SA, Honorable James?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I'm here.
Thank you so much, honorable members. I think the meeting has a quorum. Can we check Advocate Arense? Are you here?
Good morning, Honourable Chair, Honourable members, my colleagues and parliamentary colleagues, and everyone on the platform.
Thank you so much.
Compliments of the season. We are here, and we are also joined by a new member of our team, whom I will introduce with your permission.
Okay, can I check Advocate Mkhwanazi? Is she here?
Good morning, Chair. Yes, I am present. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Advocate Arense, you can introduce the new member of the team.
Chair, our new member is Bongiwe Mkhwanazi. She is a member of the Johannesburg Bar, and she has been brought in to replace Lerato Sikalala, who unfortunately had to leave us at the end of November after the Matlala hearings at Kgoshi Mapuru, because of other commitments. So it's a big loss to us. But Bongiwe has joined us, and she has, I think she was appointed in the first week or so of December, and she's been fully on board, and we welcome her, and we're happy to have her on board. Thank you, Chair. She should be on the platform, and maybe she could indicate and maybe show who she is. Thank you.
Do we address her as Bongiwe Mkhwanazi, or do we say Advocate Mkhwanazi?
I suppose it depends on the setting. She is one of our colleagues. She's an advocate. I'm sure whatever respectful address would be in order. Thank you.
Yeah. I think let's take the the customary practice that we initiated here, we have been addressing all of them as Advocate Zikalala and Advocate Mkhwanazi. So it will also be befitting and also to accord her the decorum of this meeting and properly address her as Advocate Mkhize. I think that is proper. Is that agreeable, Advocate Arendse?
Absolutely, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Thuli and your team, are you here? Or anybody standing on behalf of Dr. Thuli Bonani and the team, are you here?
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, members and colleagues. We are here.
Thank you so much. Welcome, all of you. Can I check if we have apologies from any one of us?
Chair, the only apology that we received is from Honorable Kola Banat.
What is the apology?
I'm just trying to get to it. Yeah, actually, she says that she'll be traveling all day.
Okay.
That's the only one, Chair.
Okay, no, it's fine. I see Honorable Ntuli, Honorable Skosana, and Honorable Shongwe have also joined. Honorable Taupa as well is here. Honorable Breitenbach is here as well. Honorable Ntuli, Honorable Sangoni, and I are in the Northwest. We are traveling across the length and breadth of the province because of, due to organizational commitments. We are preparing for the January 8 celebrations happening this weekend. I must announce it, Honorable Breitenbach, so that if anybody comes and says they paid for our accommodation, you must know that we were here. But I don't think that we will ever have the story of somebody paying for our accommodation. So in the event our network get disrupted, we plead with members to understand that we may be traveling from one point to another, but we will do our best to be in the meeting and follow all the proceedings of this meeting. And Honorable Ngola, in case I get cut, you know the rituals. Let's make sure that the ship does not sink.
Copied, Chair. I'm saying, Chair, copied.
Thank you so much. Let me...
Honorable Chair, good morning, colleagues. May I actually also register my presence? Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Bangazita, good morning and compliments of the new season.
Oh, same to you, Chair and colleagues. Thank you so much.
You are welcome to the meeting. Honorable members, let me formally welcome you to this meeting and thank you for the sterling work that we have done in the last quarter of 2025. It has not been very easy when we started, but due to our extraordinary abilities, we were able to find each other and formed a formidable team that was able to execute the tasks before it. And this committee has been given an extension last year. This is the second and the last extension that will end on the 20th of February 2026. We have called this meeting so that we can look at matters that will help us as a committee to do our work and complete it on the set date. This may not be the last meeting like we requested members when we sent out an alert for today's meeting that if there are any other issue that members feel can help us, members can always raise those issues and we can decide when do we deal with such matters. I also want to thank Advocate Arendse and his team, Advocate Mkhwanazi and Advocate Zikalala, for the work that they have done and the courage that they have shown, the excellence on the part of the statements that were coming before the committee and how they guided the proceedings of this committee for us to be where we are today. And Advocate Zikalala was one of the vital cogs in our legal team. And we also want to take this opportunity and welcome Advocate Bongiwe Mkhize, wish her well in her new responsibilities in this committee. And we are convinced, Advocate Mkhize, that you are going to be a very good addition. You will contribute in your own way and make this committee to succeed. The members of staff of Parliament, we want to thank you so much. We are here because of your commitment, because of the coordination that you have done for the committee to be able to rise and do the work that it has done so far. And we are very much aware that you have been working even during the holidays. Yesterday, when I met with the technical team, Nicolette assured me that the report will be ready before the committee at the time the committee wants to consider it, and that she has prepared a framework for the committee, and the framework will be made available for the committee members to make their own inputs so that when they go to do the draft report, the committee has guided. It just shows the extent of commitment that members of the technical team have shown to the committee, and we want to thank you so much for that. We are once again, Nicolette, going to deal with that long report. And we can never stop thanking you for the meticulous way in which you compile the report on public submissions. It must have been a very enduring exercise, but you were never daunted. You kept on going on until you produced the final product that you presented in the committee, the report which was applauded by all members of this committee. And for that, we once again want to thank you so much. Honorable members, let me take you through the items that we are going to deal with in today's meeting. Number one, and the reason why we put this item as number one is with the item deals with public submissions. Ms. Nicolette van Zyl presented a report an executive summary of the public submissions, which had recommendations on what the approach of the committee should be with regard to those public submissions. Further than that, she made the whole report available, and we agreed that because the report was voluminous, members will have time during the festive to read the report at their own time and at their own pace. So when we were preparing for this meeting, I requested her to come and present the recommendations, especially on those matters that may have to be scheduled for appearance before the committee. The reason why this item should be number one is because when we come to deal with the report on consultations and the proposed timetable of appearance, the committee would at that stage be knowing how many matters from the public submissions may have to be added on the timetable. And so what that means, Advocate Arends and Advocate Mkhwanazi, Advocate Mkhize, what that means is that if the committee agrees with the recommendation that the following matters must appear before the committee, it then means the timetable of appearances may have to be amended to accommodate those matters emanating from public submissions. And once Ms. Van Zyl has presented item number one, which is the recommendations on public submissions, then the second item will be the report on consultations from the senior counsel and his team. We agreed last year on the names of Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, General Patlani, Mr. Julius Mkhwanazi from Ekurhuleni, Mr. Robert McBride, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, and Brown Mkhotsi as the 6 key witnesses that have to be consulted during the time when Parliament was rising. We will get a report on how many of those witnesses have been successfully consulted and how many are outstanding, and when will the consultations be concluded. And when we deal with these witnesses, I want members to also remember that when we went to Hosimampuru, we had 2 generals from the SAPS, General Musikidi and General Kosi Sintumu. General Musikidi was not available at that time because he was leading the team that was coordinating the G20 security processes. And General Sintumule at that time was abroad. And my understanding and recollection of the decision of the committee was that because the statement of General Musikidi was very short, and that she was also acting at the time, she wouldn't have played much of a role in the matters that are being investigated within the realm of our terms of reference. And that in the event members may want to probe her statement, that can be done through written questions, which she can then provide written responses. I'm putting this matter before the committee so that if I'm wrong in terms of my understanding, the committee members can correct me and provide a way forward on how the statement of, because she cannot make any other statement unless if members have questions that they may want to raise with her, or members want her to appear before the committee. And then the same was going to happen with General Kosi Sintumule, but General Kosi Sintumule has returned to the committee and requested that she wants to appear because during the appearance of the head of IDEC, there are matters that have been raised with which she strongly feels that she must be given an opportunity to appear before the committee and clarify. Such ordinarily, she would have been comfortable with written questions and her providing written responses, but after the head of IDEC appeared before the committee, she wrote and said there are matters that were raised and she strongly feels she would be prejudiced if she was not going to be given an opportunity to appear before the committee. So the reason why I'm giving this background is for the members to look at the period between the 13th of January and probably the 6th of February. The technical team is suggesting that the committee must conclude hearings on the 6th of February so that they can have enough time to prepare a report for the consideration of the committee, and that should happen between February 6th and probably somewhere the 15th or 16th of February, so that the committee can at least have 4 or 5 days to consider the report. So when we deal with the program, it must be in such a way that we look at the allocation of days. I mean, we look at the time that is available and how each day can be allocated. And for instance, Advocate Arendse, the committee may not have time to allocate certain witnesses 2 days. For instance, we don't think we need 2 days with General Pathan. We can work until very late if it comes to a push, but we may not allocate him 2 days. So those are the things that the committee members will look into, and free space for public submissions or any other witness that the committee feels that it's a compelling matter for that witness to appear before, I mean, between the 13th of January, I mean, not the 13th, the 14th of January and the 6th of February. And committee members must also understand that we have decided not to use Mondays. With the limited time that we have, a consideration may have to be made whether we can compromise and use Mondays. I mean, Fridays is acceptable. We can always try and push that at least by lunchtime every Friday we finish our work. Yeah, I think that is what can help us. And lastly, is that we, maybe second last, is that having concluded our report or towards the conclusion of our report, if there are witnesses that are implicated in our report, we may, in terms of our terms of reference, we have agreed that we will alert them and share with them the report, the part that concerns them, so that they can make their own inputs before the report is, even if they cannot change the report, but the principles of natural justice militate that we should share that part of the report with them for their own observations and comments. And yeah, I think those are the issues, honorable members. If there is any other matter regarding the program, will arise as and when the program is presented, and members should be free, including matters that may be consequential. Members should be free to raise those matters. And then the committee, the last item is that the committee has requested that we write to the NPA and request a report on the charges that witness Ngabinde have spoken about against Paul O'Sullivan. And that letter was written to the NPA. The response of the NPA has been made available to the members of the committee before Christmas last year. This morning, we once again made that response available. It will be the last item. In case there is no other matter that members of the committee may want to add, it will be the last item on today's agenda, and members will talk to it and express their own views on how do they think the matter can be taken forward in case members feel that the response is inadequate. I just felt I must give that background to assist the meeting so that when we deal with the items, members know exactly the kind of the decisions that have to be made in today's meeting as we prepare for next week's appearances. And maybe one other thing on the program that we may have to look at even before you present it, Advocate Arends, is that if we allocate General Patlani 1 day and General Khumalo 2 days, we may have to consider starting with Patlani on Wednesday. Because if we have him on Friday, it means we will not finish before 1 o'clock on Friday. But if we take him on Wednesday, we can run with him for whatever time of the night until we finish, and then have General Khumalo on Thursday and Friday. And that is what will make us to be able to finish before 1 o'clock or just after 1 on Friday, to allow members to go and attend to their social and political commitments in the communities where they are leaders. Honorable members, this is your meeting. It's in your hands. I'm going to check with yourselves before we go to the presentations. If there is any matter that members may want to raise, I see the hand of Honorable Skosana is up. I'm going to do the rotation. I will start with the ANC and check if there is any matter you want to raise. Honorable Sangwen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Chairperson, I think a lot of the issues that you were covering are probably agenda items, just giving some context to them. So at this point, I wouldn't want to really go into them. But maybe just to make the point that I think when we ended the year last year, we said we should also consider the possibility of working over weekends. I'm saying that because of, amongst others, the issue that you raised about once the report being completed, you may need to afford an opportunity to people who have findings against them to answer, and we may need a little bit more time on that. But our understanding is the same as yours on General Musigiri, that it was going to be a statement. I think we also welcome General Sentumule's request to appear before the committee, and we would want that to be scheduled in, and then agree with you on the number of days for General Pahlan. One point that we do have to make, Chair, which I'm not sure if it's in the next report, but to emphasize the importance of ensuring that members of the public are afforded an opportunity to appear before the committee. We did a lot of work calling for submissions, and while we would have the condensed report, I think we should look at how we are also able to factor that in terms of the hearings. But we'll engage the detail of the other matters when the reports are presented. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sangoni. Is that adequate for me to move to the next party?
Yes, Chairperson, thank you.
Okay, the MKP.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, good morning to all my colleagues. It's of a great felicity to be back again and seeing the chairperson wearing that emblem is for that beautiful car, you know. Yeah, no, not Puma, but this other one.
I think it needs its own auto committee, that one.
Yeah, really. And indeed, Chair, you said Brian Mkhwanazi has not paid for your accommodation this time in the Northwest. We really appreciate that.
I did not mention the name of any person.
Yeah, and yeah, but Brian did this season. Hopefully, he will tell us when he comes to the ad hoc committee. Perhaps he has paid again. Who knows? But that, Chair, the issue of I think when you mentioned names, if you remember, we agreed about the 6 people really that we agreed upon. And there was an issue, I'm not sure whether I've forgotten, you know, if my memory serves me well. I think we've mentioned in this, the former Hawk boss, Mkhwanazi, if I remember, Advocate Mkhwanazi, maybe at a later stage, I might be wrong. But I thought that we are starting on the 12th, but it looks like you say we are starting on the 14th, Chair. Can you clear that? Is it the 13th or 14th?
Wednesday, the 14th.
The 14th. Thank you, Chair.
Oh, okay.
My colleagues are there. You know, there's Nombalo and Shongwe. Thank you.
I want to check with them if they are comfortable with your input, or we proceed to the next part.
Yeah, no, I just want to greetings to everyone, greetings to you, Chair, and compliments of the new season. I just want to raise a very quick point, and I think the legal team might assist us in that regard. The point that I want to raise, Chair, is that our interviews and our work so far has been mainly focusing, or predominantly rather, on SAPs, whereas the terms of reference have a very broad scope. They give us a responsibility to probe the NPA and the judiciary. I don't know, maybe it might be because of the evidence that has been led, which precipitates the approach that we are currently applying, or the focus rather. So I just want to get some clarification on them, that what is the problem here? Why is the focus mainly on subs? Is it because of the evidence that has been led? It does not point us to a direction of investigating the NPA and the judiciary, or maybe it's other reasons which we do not know. I just want to raise that as a concern, Chair. or maybe if when they make a presentation of public submissions, maybe that might be addressed through the submissions that have been made, which will necessitate the committee to probe matters which relate to the NPA and the judiciary as well. That is the issue that we wanted to raise at this stage. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm writing the issue down after the NPA response, so that in case towards the end of the agenda items, if the matter that you raise shall have not been clarified, you can still remind me, but I'm writing it down as the last item on the agenda. Is that okay?
That's okay, Chair.
Okay. Honorable Shongwe, is there anything you want to say before I proceed to the DA?
No, compliments, Chair. Thank you and greeting to members. No, Chair, I'm covered by Honorable Nomvalo because my concern was more of there were names that we have mentioned before. And I noticed now that you've only mentioned 6. But my main concern were the names of the judges, the prosecutors, and the head of the country that we mentioned before. So as we talk about the report, it somehow closes that space of the inclusions of those names. So I was just concerned, but I think Honorable Nomvalo's input covers me on that regard. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. The Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, Chair. All covered for now. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, the Economic Freedom Fighters. The EFF.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So I'm not used to unmuting myself. Good morning again, Chair and members and the legal team and our technical team. Chair, that perhaps give us an update, or maybe we can do it at the back of one of our hearings on the additional support that we've requested from Parliament, especially with the legal team, so we are able to do our work more efficiently and effectively. So that would be one, if we could talk to that. The second one would be that we haven't the witnesses, and maybe that would come up in the report. The witnesses we need are the members of Parliament. So we have like at least 2 where we've had Lieutenant General who had made serious allegations against them, so they would need to appear, which was Honorable Diane and Honorable Adams. So I see their names are not on the list, but I know we also haven't reached the section of members of Parliament, so maybe that would come up in the report. So if we can just be cognitive of that. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Honorable Mngango.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning, colleagues, and good morning to the technical staff. Compliments of the new season to all of us. I think we are covered, the Honorable Chairperson. We are satisfied with the outline that you have actually given. Perhaps we could all. I heard that Honorable Sangoni was actually suggesting that perhaps we should not shy away from considering actually working even on Saturdays. I was going to support you, Chairperson, in actually considering Mondays rather than Saturdays, considering that we are soon entering the local government election, season. Saturdays might be problematic to some of us. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay. That is a fair point. Honorable Honorable Souls.
Covered, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Souls. Honorable Vessels.
I'm covered. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Honorable James.
I'm covered, thanks too.
Thank you. Honorable members, I'm going to request you that let us help each other in this meeting so that there is no issue that falls between the cracks. We have to do our work in the name of the Parliament of the Republic, and most importantly, in the name of the people of this country. And that is why the point that we must not turn a blind eye to public submissions, even if we were going to listen to 2 or 3 of them. It makes a very important statement that the people of South Africa have a parliament that can listen to their grievances. And those grievances can be televised live, being processed by parliament, aggrieved parties appearing before parliament, before their public representatives, pleading for their leadership to help them to deal with the challenges that they face in their daily lives. Even if it was going to be 1, 2, or 3 matters, let us be seen doing that, honorable members, acting in the name of those people who may not have access to public institutions, acting in the names of those people who may not have the voice for themselves, or those people who may not have representation. We are here to act on their behalf and make sure that their aspirations are realized. So any other matter, honorable members, this committee is your committee. We must make sure that we deal with those issues. As we have said it here, that we have been allocated up until the 20th of February to conclude our work. Let's do our best, put our best legs forward, and make sure that the work of the committee succeeds. So we are going to allow the presentations to happen. All those matters that you raised, Honorable Nombalo, Honorable Matthews, Honorable Skosan, if they are not covered in the presentations that would have been made here today, those matters must not go away. You need to raise them in this meeting. Even if today's meeting may not deal with them exhaustively, we can still decide on another day. For instance, on Monday, we don't have any business except traveling. If there is any other matter that will not have been exhaustively dealt with, we can still decide to deal with it on Monday. And like Honorable Mnango has said, if it's not possible for us to meet over the weekend, to do hearings over the weekends, we can still use some part of the weekend for virtual committee meetings and deal with any other matter that committee members feel that has to be decided. Ms. Nicolette van Zyl, we are going to start with you. And then from there, when you conclude, we take Advocate Arendse. And thereafter, Parliament team will talk to the response from the NPA. And then once the presentations are concluded, I'm going to remind honorable members on how we deal with each and every item through our rotation process. Thank you so much. The presentation starts now.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, Honorable members. Thank you for the opportunity to present and compliments of the new season. Members, I promise this one will be a bit shorter than the previous one. So the purpose of this presentation is to provide an overview of the public submissions received by the ad hoc committee. It highlights considerations relevant to the identification of witnesses in support of the committee's mandate. Chair, honorable members, the submissions are really valuable to the committee's work. It provides insight into patterns of alleged conduct rather than isolated incidents. It assists the committee in identifying systemic risks and governance gaps, and it supports the committee's oversight function by highlighting areas requiring further interrogation. In terms of the overview of the public submissions that was received, as members are aware, we received a substantial number of written submissions from members of the public and interested stakeholders. The recurring themes across the submissions include alleged political or external interference in policing functions, corruption and collusion involving members of law enforcement and associated institutions, weaknesses in internal oversight, disciplinary and accountability systems, also intimidation, fear of reprisal, and limited protection for whistleblowers. And lastly, it shows a diminishing public trust in the criminal justice system. These themes are fully aligned with the focus areas identified in paragraph 4 of our terms of reference. Honourable members, viewed collectively, these submissions reflect recurring patterns and concerns that broadly corroborate elements of the testimony presented before the ad hoc committee. Honourable members, most of the contributions do not provide probative evidence directly related to the allegations under consideration. But as I stated, it does provide an overall view and corroborates the interference in the criminal justice system. As I presented in the previous presentation last year, it is recommended that submissions be referred to the relevant portfolio committees or oversight bodies with the mandate to process them further. This approach, honourable members, will ensure that all matters raised by the public remain within Parliament's accountability framework and are directed to the institutional structures best positioned to consider and resolve. Honourable members, these I indicate are the overarching submissions that raises individual grievances and not directly related to the allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and also other witnesses that appeared before the committee. Honourable members, to start, I want to raise the submissions that was submissions made by civil society. These submissions provide a system-level perspective, which addresses, amongst others, the broader impact on public trust in the SAPS correctional services, the NPA, the criminal justice system, the judiciary, and national security. And this is as stated in our terms of reference, paragraph 4.1.15. Substantial submissions from civil society was received from Accountability Now, and this was provided through an affidavit. Secondly, the African Policing Civilian Oversight Forum, or APCOF, the Institute for Security Studies, ISS, and the Dullah Omar Institute, ICJR, at the University of Cape Town, or the Western Cape, apologies, Gun Free South Africa, and Mr. Ramabuela. Honorable members, these submissions should be ideally invited for oral presentations due to their importance aligned to our terms of reference. It could be considered that these presentations be allocated 40 minutes each, which will bring a total time of about 4 hours. In terms of the substantive submissions received by the committee, these are not from primary witnesses and thus could possibly not require consultations as was made with the previous witnesses. Some could be invited or should be invited for oral presentation, while others could be considered as read. Oral presentations are not prescriptive in Parliament. However, it is definitely the best practice and strongly advisable for the committee, as the chairperson stated, to have the most pertinent submissions appear before the committee for oral presentation. Honourable members, I'm going to take you through the submissions that is highlighted for possible oral presentation. So I am making the names available today, and we have received or identified 15 submissions that could be heard by the committee. The first is from Ms. Patricia Mashale. The committee has previously engaged on this particular individual. Her actual submission does not provide much detail. It is bulleted issues, so it will be good for her to flesh them out in a hearing setting. Secondly, from Brigadier Luvani. He is the former head of the Secret Service account. He was dismissed for allegedly blowing the whistle on corruption in SAPS. He made a previous protective disclosure, and as I understand, he will also be a witness at the Matlanga Commission. Then thirdly, we had a submission from Captain Ramalepe and 2 others. They allege that drug cartels are operating within the police service, or as I've called it, force, and the related corruption reported by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. Fourthly, we have Mr. Dotieni. He is a former SAPS crime intelligence analyst, and he alleges political interference, corruption, and manipulation within SAPS leadership. He links these issues to the death of a senior police officer in 2021. This matter has also been previously discussed by members of the committee. Fifthly, we have Lieutenant General Matludi. As members know, he was the former one of the former divisional commissioners of crime intelligence. Through his attorney, he requested an opportunity to respond to allegations made against him during the ad hoc committee's hearings. Then next we have a submission from Mr. Mlandlu. And for this, we possibly need a consultation. Through his attorney, he submitted an affidavit and substantial evidence bundle, including a sworn statement and supporting documents. Moving forward, honorable members, we have a submission from Mr. Mkhwanazi. He alleges abuse of SAP's Crime Intelligence Secret Fund and the misuse of state resources. In the covert investigation of the Pala farm robbery, implicating the President, the Minister of Police, and senior SAPS officials. It's a quite detailed submission and could be heard by the committee. Then we have a submission from Mr. Poro. He accuses senior NPA and IDEC officials of abuse of power, racism, and unlawful asset seizures, stating that he and his family was humiliated and impoverished. Ninthly, honorable chair members, we have a submission from Mr. Chetty. He reports multiple arrests and asset freezes related to fraud and money laundering allegations, claiming abuse of the criminal justice system. Honorable members, Mr. Chetty also had a recent media report or media article that was published, which can be, apologies, can be made available to the committee, in which he details his submission to the ad hoc committee. We have an anonymous submission. This can be either read or heard through the appropriate channels, like an in-camera appearance. The person alleges systemic corruption, extortion, nepotism, and abuse of power within the SAPS, implicating serious officers and external associates. He or she claims interference in investigations, the manipulation of disciplinary processes, obstruction of IBIT inquiries, and protection of criminal activities. He also requests intervention and protection for whistleblowers. We also had a submission from Advocate Maremi. He alleges that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi lied under oath regarding the handling of a fraud and corruption case against Lieutenant General Mdluli, thus misleading the ad hoc committee's inquiry and the public. He seeks to clarify that the Mdluli matter was solely about vehicle transactions and unrelated to broader allegations of corruption. Advocate Maremi submitted a detailed affidavit. So next we have a submission from Dr. Rolls. It is suggested that this submission be read. He alleges to have evidence of involvement of police and judiciary in mass criminal activities. He reports multiple arrests and asset freezes related to fraud and money laundering allegations, claiming abuse of the criminal justice system. However, this can also be heard as an oral presentation. Next, we have a submission from Advocate Mkhwanazi. He alleges, or his submission revolves around the lack of protection to whistleblowers in the SAPS, he also alleges factions in SAPS leading to unfair promotions and a wide abuse of the disciplinary processes in SAPS. We also had a substantive submission from Mr. Mia. He alleges a conspiracy involving SAPS, the NPA, and the judiciary to manufacture evidence and secure wrongful convictions. However, members should note that he is currently incarcerated, and caution should be noted regarding Parliament's involvement in criminal convictions. Lastly, honourable members, we have a submission from Honourable Mr. Mkhwanazi, and this can also be read. However, it does provide a detailed account of alleged investigative failures, intimidation, and a lack of protection experienced by Municipal Oversight Office bearer following the referral of a corruption matters to SAPS. While the municipal governance aspect fall outside the committee's mandate, the submission has value in illustrating systemic weaknesses in SAP's investigations, follow-through, and whistleblower protection, and is considered as corroborative contextual evidence. Honourable members, if the committee could, at a minimum, allocate 40 minutes per individual for oral presentations. This can be concluded over 1 or 2 days. Moving on, honourable members, I just want to highlight regarding anonymous submissions and confidential documentation. We received 3 anonymous submissions, of which one was assessed as having high probative value. One of the the second anonymous submission was based primarily on hearsay, while the other related to a reported political killing and included claims of threats linked to anti-corruption activities and exposure thereto. Honourable members, this is a good example of a submission that could be referred to the police for investigations regarding the threat to the submitter's life, and also to have a report on the investigation that was conducted by SAPS on the reported political killing. We received no confidential or classified documents through the public participation process. Matters falling within the mandate of the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence will be referred accordingly. For instance, we have received a substantial submission from Mr. Painter alleging misuse of crime intelligence function. However, these allegations are not directly linked or aligned to the allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, but again, it points to misuse of state resources, especially within the crime intelligence section of the police or division. Then, honourable members, we received quite a substantial number of submissions from former and serving SAPS members who report grievances related to unfair dismissals, irregular disciplinary action, promotions, and re-enlistment or reservist absorption. Honourable members, while these matters raise legitimate concerns about perceived labour practices within the SAPS and other government departments, Parliament's direct intervention in individual labour disputes is not advisable. These individual disputes fall within the judiciary jurisdiction of statutory labor dispute resolution mechanisms, such as the triple SBC, the CCMA and labor courts. However, the recurring patterns raised by the submissions remain important, and it points to a broader organizational concerns, notably the re-enlistment process, communication and feedback. That's quite a significant area within the SAPS. Limited pathways for community policing forum CPF members and reservists to be absorbed into the SAPS as permanent members, ongoing systemic challenges in SAPS human resource management and allocation, and concerns regarding the application of disciplinary regulations, including allegations of the misuse of the expeditious dismissal process. Honorable members, just to note, the Portfolio Committee on Police have been engaged quite significantly in these matters, labor-related matters, as part of our strategic and policy-orientated basis on mandate. Honorable members, in conclusion, just to draw your attention, based on the public submissions, we are required to draft and adopt a public participation report, which will be published in the ATC for noting by the National Assembly. So it's not for consideration, only for noting. The public participation report will be very concise and factual in nature. It will not include the detailed submissions that was made. It will basically be based on the overarching themes that was identified through the public participation process. It will also then naturally also include the submissions that was heard for oral presentation, and the report will be prepared and adopted separately from the committee's final report, and will be drafted for adoption once the public participation process has been concluded. Thank you, honorable members. That concludes my presentation.
No, I was not supposed to take off.
I didn't know the chair has disappeared. I think
January 8th.
I think let's take the second presentation, honorable members. We'll locate the chair. Advocate Arensa, are you doing the second presentation?
Honorable Nola, yes, I don't know whether, can I just ascertain whether the report that we were required to table, in fact, already on the 7th or 8th of December, which we did, has been made available to you. We were required to indicate a schedule of witnesses, amongst other things. I think it has been resubmitted to you.
Okay. Okay, can you hold on?
Yes.
Mr. Ramano, did you share the report to members? Was the report shared with the members?
Chair, the report was shared with the members.
Thank you so much.
I've flighted it now.
Thank you so much. You can proceed, Advocate Arens.
Thank you. We were guided by the witnesses. The Honourable Committee indicated we should consult with and prepare statements for the second part of these hearings, and they appear on the screen. We met in person with Lieutenant General Khumalo, Lieutenant General Pashlani, Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi, and Robert McBride, and we have interacted by way of email with Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, who has given to us a draft statement, which we will consult on Sunday to adjust it to accord with the terms of reference of the Honourable Committee. Mr. Mkhwanazi, we scheduled for Monday in an online meeting. You may or may not be aware that Mr. Mkhwanazi had either indicated that he had security concerns, and these were between the time available in late December and now. They could not be addressed by Parliament. So we have agreed to meet with him and his lawyer online on Monday. As regards his appearance, whether physical or online, that will depend on him and the committee, I suppose. We had also interacted after this draft report was submitted on 7-8 December with the witnesses that I've indicated. We interacted with both with them personally and with their lawyers. Obviously, with the time of the year, there were difficulties with that, but I think we had worked up to about the 18th or 20th of December in working with these witnesses, having the consultations that we had with them, what's the word? The recordings, having that transcribed, sorry, and then preparing draft statements which have been exchanged. We are in a position to make the statements of Lieutenant General Khumalo and Lieutenant General Pashlani available by the end of this week. Pashlani probably by Saturday. So we would be in a position to proceed with their evidence as now indicated on the 14th, 15th, and 16th next week. The following week, we scheduled Mr. McBride and Mr. Mkhwanazi, and the following week, O'Sullivan, who will be interviewed online. I think he's in London at the moment and had indicated that he'll only be back in the country, I think, after February. And besides, he had also indicated grave concerns about appearing in person because of the security situation. We had not engaged in the response to the question raised by Honourable Nomvalo. As regards the NPA, we had, of course, already interviewed the National Director of Public, or the former now National Director of Public Prosecution, Shamila Batoy, We had also interviewed Anthea Johnson, the head of IDAC. We had not engaged with any other officials, prosecutors, or anyone else at the NPA. As far as the judiciary is concerned, we had not identified any member of the judiciary to interview. And as far as my memory serves, I don't think the Honourable Committee had done so either. If identified, we'll obviously approach either such an official or judge or former judge if indicated. Yes, the emphasis has been somewhat on the SAPS because of the terms of reference focuses mainly on the allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi on the 6th of July last year, and that's been the focus of our work. As regards the presentation made by Nicolette, a number of these submissions had originally been directed to us, but we sent them on to the parliamentary technical team. They had sifted through, I'm sure, a couple of hundred, if not 1,000 public submissions, and Nicolette has provided the summary. We will engage with Nicolette and her team on these submissions. I don't have any comment on her summary that 15 or so possible oral presentations be made to the Honourable Committee, but I leave that within your discretion. Otherwise, Acting Chair, Honourable Chair, we are on track to present the evidence of let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6 witnesses, and we'll see how it goes with Mr. Mkhwanazi on Monday if he survives January 8th. Thank you, Acting Chair.
But the last part, Senior Counsel. Thank you very much, Senior Counsel. I think we must commend the work you and your team has done in terms of consultations. 5 out of 6 is a sterling job. It does seem like the chair is not yet back, so we members were going to rotate as we have made it our tradition, and we're going to deal with both reports on public participation and on the timetable and the work done in terms of consulting the witnesses. And we must make consideration on the time frames and the extension that we've been given, and what needs to be done, and how do we prioritize, reprioritize, and all of that. So we're going to start with the ANC, the Honourable Sangoni.
Honourable Ngola, may I interject just briefly?
Yes.
May I request that Advocate Mkhwanazi perhaps introduce herself briefly, and also that I will stay on, but if both Advocate Mkhwanazi and Advocate Mkhwanazi be excused, because we do have some consultations planned now for this afternoon with some witnesses. Thank you.
That's allowed, Senior Counsel. Advocate Mkhwanazi, can you please shortly or briefly introduce yourself to the committee?
Good afternoon, honourable members. as Arenza SC has.
With your video on, please.
Oh, with my video on, okay. Okay, I'm not sure if it's on.
It's on, but with issues.
Oh, I have no idea what is happening.
Kodwa mamkhize nokufika Nkosi yami. Sawubona.
Sanbonan. I don't, oh, it's picking up on my phone. Just, I'm really sorry. Apologies about that. Let's switch it off. Okay. There you go.
Icathulo sizibonile.
Ngizibonile isicathulo, ngiyaxolisa kakhulu. Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Bongiwe Mkhize, and I am a member of the Johannesburg Bar. I'm based at Group 621, and it is an honor for me to join this team, the legal team, as well as to work with you as the committee. So, ngiyaxolisa ngecathulo evelile.
Thank you very much, Advocate Mkhize. I think the shoes issue is not really an issue. It was just on a lighter note. We welcome you officially to the committee work. But just to brief you that here we work, there is no time for knocking off. We even knock off at 1 a.m. in the morning. So you must prepare yourself for such kind of an extensive kind of work. Thank you so much, Honorable Sangweni. We're back to rotation.
Honorable Acting Chair, may they be excused?
Yes, they can be excused to do their work. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Honorable
much.
Sangweni, it's your time now for rotation.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and let me echo your welcome to Advocate Mkhize. We can tell that she's a hard-working young woman. One of the shoes were off, so she's used to this late nights and things of that nature. Honorable Acting Chair, thank you so much. Let me thank the presentations that have been meticulously prepared for the committee, both by Ms. Nicolette as well as Advocate Aransa. Maybe I will start off on behalf of the ANC on some of the presentations, and then my colleagues will come in. On the issue of the public submissions, we've noted that we haven't had sight of the original submissions, but we do accept the report as presented by the Parliamentary Research Unit. We accept the bona fides of those submissions as summarized. We have also noted the recommendations that have been made, especially the ones of the civil society, and we request firstly that those original submissions be shared with members. When it comes to the individual submissions, there again, we're requesting the original submission documents, but maybe just to highlight a few issues. I don't know, members will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the issue of Ms. Patricia Mashale, we had discussed it when we were at Hoshimamburu, and the view of the committee was that it would not be necessary to call her at that point. Granted, this was based on the evidence that was before us, which was largely reference to her in relation to social media posts. If there's a feeling that there's been new substantive information that has since been brought, and that decision must be reviewed, we won't have a problem with it. But we had thought that we had dispensed with the issue of Ms. Patricia Mashale. So we're not really supporting her being heard, unless, as I said, there's new information that has come through. But even then, Ms. Nicolette did say that her submission is bullet points, so we're not sure about that. Chair, we also want to make a suggestion that where allegations or accusations are being made against individuals, it must be accompanied by a sworn statement before that is heard. And this is really to protect our work, from challenge. I know that a sworn statement is not necessarily a prerequisite for appearing before Parliament. But in such cases, we would think that whomever is making the accusation should be willing to depose an affidavit to that effect. And if necessary, anybody who has accusations being leveled against them should be afforded an opportunity to respond or right of reply. We accept the list that has been provided of the other 14 individuals who made submissions. Amongst them, I remember there was Advocate Mkhwanazi, General Mdluli, and a number of other individuals, Dr. Ross and so forth. We think those should be heard, and the committee should try and make the time available to hear those submissions together with the civil society. When we went through the submission, Chairperson, as the ANC, we felt that there were areas which we do have the numbers which we can pass through to the committee staff, but there were submissions that were dealing with matters of organized crime, crime intelligence failures, and I'm not sure if the ones that are proposed directly align to the submission numbers as we had captured them. So I will share those submission numbers. Now, they are not many, but we believe that if they were to be evidenced, they firstly provide collaborative evidence to some of the things that we've been hearing, but that they're so serious in nature that they should be afforded an opportunity to be heard. So I will submit that. And then finally, on the public submissions, Chairperson, where there are allegations of victimization or a failure in whistleblower protection, we think that we must be able to prioritize those. I think it's common cause that our laws and really our entire system of dealing with whistleblower protection is not sufficient, and we may want to hear from members of the public who have such issues that they would want to bring to the attention of Parliament. I think, let me stop there on the public submissions, Chair, but we support the recommendations that some of these matters must be referred to the relevant portfolio committees as well, specifically the portfolio committee on police on matters that relate to the subs. Chair, our understanding at this point, and perhaps other honourable members will speak to the matter. I don't think that there was a intentional sidelining or undermining or an attempt at circumventing, calling members of the judiciary. There has been a number of witnesses who would have made, accusations or statements against members of the judiciary, and it has been very difficult to get from the witnesses that have appeared before us who from the judiciary are these accusations being made against, except for the one judge who I think was in some high-profile case. So we hold no opposition to bringing members of the judiciary as and when those allegations are brought to them. But I think that they've been far between, and we obviously wouldn't want to just go on a witch hunt where no such allegations are presented, but we will support them being called when that information comes. Then, Chair, on the issue of the program and the witness list as presented by Advocate Arendse, I think the first thing we want to raise is that we do believe, as suggested by the Chair, that General Phahlane should go first on the 14th, given the time constraints that were raised. We want clarity, and we vehemently reject at this point any consideration of online hearings. I think our terms of reference were very clear that the witnesses must present themselves physically before the committee. This relates to Mr. Paul O'Sullivan as well as Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi. Now, the reasons that are being given, I think in one meeting we were told that Mr. O'Sullivan is abroad. I think sufficient time has been given to Mr. O'Sullivan to present himself before the committee. We would want that we consider and utilize any avenues that Parliament has to compel him to appear before this committee. We're not going to do online hearings. If Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, as this indictment that was sent to us shows, is able to impersonate an IPID member and do all sorts of things, there's absolutely no reason why he can't come before a Parliament of the people to answer for himself. So we reject any consideration of an online hearing for him. We don't think that the reasons provided are adequate given the gravity of the allegations that has been brought against him. And we would wish that the committee goes back to engage Mr. O'Sullivan and indicate it's the view of the committee that he must present himself physically. Similarly with Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi, I don't quite remember the essence of the security concerns that he was raising. However, a number of witnesses have appeared before this committee. He himself has presented himself before Justice Matlanga's commission. So what security considerations would there be when he has to appear before Parliament? So we reject any consideration of an online hearing there as well. And then finally, Chair, on the issue of members of Parliament, I think it was Honorable Matheus who had raised it earlier. We have the same concern as the ANC. I mean, this is a matter that has been ventilated a lot in this committee, and I think the program should be adjusted to afford an opportunity for Honorable Collar Barnard as well as Honorable Adams to also present their evidence before the committee. Chair, I'm going to stop there, but I'm not sure if other members of the African National Congress would mind to make any additions. Thank you so much, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sangoni. Honorable Khanyane is back. Honorable Chair.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chair. Do you want me to
just a little,
your opportunity to speak?
No, just a little bit of a brief, Chair. We have received the presentation from the Senior Counsel in light of.
I've been following that.
Okay, that's fine, Chair.
Yeah.
You can no, I'm fine. You can take over now. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Sangoni has concluded, and let me thank you so much for steering the ship. Can I check with the members of the African National Congress if you are done before we take the MKP?
Chair, good morning to you and good morning to all the participants in the meeting, honorable members and all colleagues, and compliment for the new year. No, on my part, Chairperson, I am fully covered by the intervention that was made by Honorable Sangon at the moment. Thanks.
Yeah. Not to put Honorable Ngola in a disadvantage, can I check with you, Honorable Ngola, if there is something you may want to say?
No, Chair, I'm fine, and fully agree that there is no virtual arrangement. Witnesses must be dragged kicking and screaming to appear before the committee. Thank you so much.
Okay. And that the program should start with General Patane. Do you support that?
Agreed, Chair.
Yes, Chair, yes, supported.
Okay. So the suggestion then will be that General Patane should come on Wednesday, followed by General Khumalo on Thursday and Friday. Can I then move to the MKP?
Thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, it's good that this is a seventh administration. I think this Paul O'Sullivan think this is a sixth administration. When they allow Pillay to give evidence why he was away, he must be here physically. We are not going to allow him. This is the seventh administration. MK party is here. Now, this European attitude, because he undermines everyone. He's got nothing to do that he is busy the security concern. Security concern when he's in charge of all the state agencies. But be that as it may, Chair, the issue of the judiciary, and I think my colleague has raised that we can't say that the evidence leader is very aware. We've raised names there. It's not that we never raise name of the judges or from that sector. We need to have them here. It's not only about the police. We have judgment which leaves much to be desired. They are not law unto themselves. If we say there's a constitution, whether we differ, some of us, we differ anyway with the constitution we have. That is the best in the world. It's debatable. But we can't have only the police here. When criminals are being allowed to run amok, white-collar crimes, by the same judiciary we are talking about. Mkhwanazi, the former Chief Justice, raised that as well. There's a lot of we can come back again and name these judges if we want to, if we agree. It can't be that they are law unto themselves. That is only about the police where there's problems. We've got a problem in the judiciary in this country, and it's a fact. There's no witch hunt in that. And Comrade Nomvalo, Honorable Member Nomvalo raised that this is not only about the police. Hence, we are having a joint committee here in this ad hoc committee. No one should feel like there's a witch hunt against anyone. The country wants to know the truth in this country. People of this country are tired. We need to have this judiciary as well. If it's a judge, it's a sitting judge. We have a sitting generals who appear before us. If Justice Mlambo has to come here, he must come here. We are not going to nest feelings and sentiments of other people. This country almost collapsed in front of our eyes because of the lack of ethics from all the state institutions. Now, we have to do our job, Chair, and make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned because of time. Because some people maybe are more important than others. Judges are human beings. If a judge has to come and appear before us, so be it. So I'm a bit disturbed when the evidence leader says he doesn't remember. No, you must remember, there's a list there. We mentioned names, even if we didn't agree. There's names there. Unless then we said this other committee was for the police only. In my view, Chair, I think we have to have that as a matter of agents. We have to complete, and if we agree about the other names, so be it. Let's do what we're supposed to do. We've agreed, Chair, that we're gonna have everyone here who's relevant. Judges are relevant in this ad hoc committee. They are not supernatural beings. We need them here. There's a lot of maleficence in this country. People suffered, and people are still suffering as we speak because of some of their judgments. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair. Can I come in, Chair, briefly?
Yes, Honorable Nomvalo.
Yeah, no, let me start, Chair, by saying that we've been largely covered by some of the presentations or the points rather that have been submitted by the first speaker, Honorable Sangoni, on the issue of online interviews. We fully agree, we fully align ourselves with what she has said. There is no need to repeat it. And also, I've been covered by what the latter speaker has said. But in addition, Chair, I don't know what is the position of the legal team on this matter that I'm going to raise, but I was hoping that it is going to be part of their presentation. The issue of witnesses who have appeared before this committee and after their appearance, statements are made against the submissions that they have made, which might make their statements which they made before this committee to be a lie or to be untrue, and that would legally mean that they have lied under oath. Practically, the issue of Peggy Cele, for instance, the committee would remember that when he came to the committee, he made some averments which were denied, and some were opposed by by Mr. Matlala in Khosumampuru. So how do we deal with such matters which trigger a response? Because if what was said by Mr. Matlala is anything to go by, then that means to a certain extent, Mr. Cele lied before this committee, but it would be incomplete to make that determination, having not given him an opportunity to reply to what has been raised or to what was raised by Mr. Matlala against him. So are we not supposed maybe to call Peggy Cele, either for him to make a written submission, which were made against him by Mr. Matlala, because it's going to be compulsory, or it's going to be necessary in future for us to make a determination relying on the submission on the submissions respectively that have been made by the two individuals that I'm speaking about. So I think, Chair, our view as the MK party is that we can't leave it hanging like that. Maybe we'll have to request for a written submission from Mr. Cele to reply to all the allegations that were made by Mr. Matlala against him. Or maybe we invite him to come back to the committee and reply. I'm raising this because Mr. Cele is not part of the list that has been presented before this committee by the legal team. Then the second one, Chair, is that I think last year in one of our meetings, we agreed as the committee that we will have to call General Mkhwanazi to come back, maybe at the tail end of our interviews, to afford him an opportunity, because 80%, if not 90%, and if not all witnesses have replied to allegations he made. Some have denied, some have rubbished all the allegations. So it will be procedurally fair for the committee to allow or to afford him an opportunity to come back. We even said when we made that submission that in a normal application proceeding, you allow an applicant to file an affidavit, you allow the respondent to reply, and you allow the applicant to come back. We said, even though we are of an understanding that this is not a litigation process, but it will be procedurally fair from an objective point of view to allow him to come back to reply to all the replies that have been made to his allegations. So I'm raising that, Chair, because it's also not part of the list, or of the names rather, that have been presented. We understand that there's limitation of time, Chair, but that must not compromise the quality of our inquiry or investigation, because a report of this whole process will be taken to court. So we must not open loopholes consciously so. We must avoid anything that might come back to compromise the credibility of our report. Then the last one, Chair. Our view is that the 15 submissions that have been made at a first value are going to assist this committee and will point the committee to a direction of probing the NPA further. We understand that the NTPP appeared before this committee and the head of the IDEC appeared also. But we are not confident that this committee has sufficient evidence that it can use in its report to make any determination in relation to any allegation about the NPA or to any allegation rather about the judiciary. Our interim position, Chair, is that I'm saying interim. I'm carefully using this word because we have not read the full content of the submissions. So maybe when we read them, we might make a different determination. But at this stage, Chair, and at a first value, our view is that the committee must entertain those submissions, and largely through oral submissions. And that might require us to work tirelessly and around the clock. That might require us maybe to invite even 2 witnesses on a day, like we've been doing previously. And the chair or the committee might have to agree to a point that they will have to minimize time for members to ask questions so that all the relevant information that will assist this committee to finalize its inquiry or report is taken into consideration. Thank you very much.
Chair,
Was I
ngathi
even
no
audible,
Brown
Chair?
Mkhwanazi. No, ngathi Chair is no Brown Mkhwanazi lapha. Salungisa accommodation.
Seemingly, we have lost the chair, Honorable Nola. You know what to do.
It looks like
I think next was Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you, new chair. Chair, I think when I'm covered kulama inputs akhona, but kube kuyiphutha elikhulu kakhulu futhi chair uma singake senze lento efunwayo lo baba bathi uPaul Sullivan. Ngeke ngasho before sivala ngathi ithatheni ipassport yalo muntu ngoba uzobaleka. And indeed now we are told ukuthi useLondon. It's a pity that chair now we need to submit certain affidavits in order to call certain people. But I agree with the Honorable Kusala ukuthi lona ubaba uPaul Sullivan kumele abizwe and aze physically. But in pertaining to our judges and the prosecutors and the rest of laba amagama esifuna ukuwabiza, I feel ukuthi some of them don't even need an affidavit to be called in. For example, the judge elinikeze ubaba uPaul Sullivan incwadi yokuthi we can't arrest him unless you inform him 48 hours before. That judge needs to see us. Kunenkulumo emele asixoxele yona. Number 2, the same matter yaka Paul Sullivan is struck out of the roll, the document that you got last night. Those allegations against him were struck off the roll. Mawifunda leyanto, it's so suspicious kakhulu. Naloyo judge loyo naloyo prosecutor they need to see us bazosixoxela ukuthi yini lento labayenza. Ayifune affidavit ke le chair, if I may say. So I think I would propose to chair and the committee that I know that we are pressed for time and we are supposed to finish in due time in February. However, we won't be doing justice to the South Africans. South Africans wants people to be arrested. And I would suggest ukuthi kwamanje we arrest the few that we have done. We are done with esibona banenkinga sibafake nje ejele sibatholile indawo zokulala babe right. But we can't miss a space where we further probe these things esesizitholile masifika la phakathi. There is more that came when we were already in session, we ad hoc. There was less that we understood before we went in, but now more has come. And if you check lesikhathi esisibekile, some people might find indlela yokusibalekela. There's a lot that we need to probe. We've discovered that this ad hoc committee is a necessity. And fortunate for it, I found nale any commission. It doesn't waste money. It doesn't require too much money to ukuthi isebenze. However, it's a huge benefit to South Africans. We've uncovered a lot of things. Thanks to General Mkhwanazi. We've uncovered izinto ezidinga ukuthi siziphi isikhathi siyihlasele. So I propose ukuthi let's either again ask for more time, but while sicala ngalaba sibabophe sibacede laba, so that we sure ukuthi sizimisele ukusebenza. And we are not just the other administration, not saying bebangasebenzi, maybe bebasebenza, but we want to deliver results with my South Africans. So I propose that one, let's further look at this into yesikhathi. And two, I agree with akuqale General Phahlane personally. Why? Because allegations waka Paulo Sullivan and the likes are coming from General Phahlane. The fact that uzenze ilokhu member ye-IPID comes from General Phahlane. So it indeed General Phahlane should be the person to start. I'm not sure whether I agree with ukuthi makanikezwe isikhathi esincane for 1 day. What if there is more that needs him to give us into eziqinile about these issues of ubaba lo phethe country to Paulo Sullivan, because seems like Paulo Sullivan is the president of this country, goes and does whatever. Uyafana no president when your country does whatever they want to do a country in yabantu. So I propose that we also spend more of his card to probe certain matters. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Shongwe. The Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, Chair and Honorable Shongwe and everyone else on the team. We're happy for now. I just want to highlight one thing that we haven't touched on that's just good to take note of, is that the motion regarding the gang violence inquiry and the police committee that was adopted at the end of 2025 could potentially influence parts of, it won't influence the program, but it could cause for a slight challenge with regards to attendance sometimes. But for now, happiness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Cameron. Any other speakers from the DA? No. Can we then move to the Economic Freedom Fighters?
Thank you very much, Chair, and compliments to the colleagues. We generally agree with a lot of things that were said. And on O'Sullivan, we must use the powers that we have to summon him. We must be a different kind of a committee that deals with the powerful in a manner that shows them no one is above the law. And this time is giving us an opportunity to demonstrate to him that he's nothing else but a subject of the Constitution of South Africa if he thinks he's South African, and therefore he's going to have to respect the Constitution of South Africa and the laws of South Africa. The same goes to Mkhwanazi. If all things were equal, we're just supposed to send a donkey cart to go and fetch him from the village and bring him here, because he has got no reason. Things were clownish and were part of the people he has been clownishing with for a very long time in that province. So we need to find a way decisively to deal with him. When we are listening to generals of the police, we've never referred to them as a group. We've never said, hey, subs, they say, why are you scared of subs? No. We spoke about individual names. We said one this one, one this one Sibia, one this one this one, one this one. As an adult who's responsible of making laws of this country, you must jealously guard against the integrity and the image of the judiciary. And do not make sweeping statements about the judiciary. Because the day you erode the image, the good image, and the authority of the judiciary, that's when you are taking this democracy to the dogs. I'm very angry with the judiciary for not delivering the Phala judgment on time. But I'm not going to paint the whole judiciary as being incompetent and making political consideration before they make a judgment. No, I've got a problem with the Constitutional Court, which has had the matter and is unable to deliver the simplest matter they've ever had before. And therefore, if I've got any issue, I will say the Constitutional Court has in this regard failed us. If there is a judge that you've got an evidence against that this judge has been corrupted and this judge has done 1, 2, 3, 4, you need to specifically mention that judge. Don't act all brave here and all act. Don't act all brave. Mention a name and say Judge Ludwaba gave a judgment that said 1, 2, 3, 4, and therefore he needs to come and account so that we can argue about that. There is no judge who has ever been taken to a commission on the basis of a judgment. Anyone who's not happy with the judgment of Judge Ledwaba, that when you need Paul O'Sullivan, you must give him 48 hours and notice of warrants of arrest. You can take that on recourse, unless you say that became as a result of a corrupt nature or relationship Ledwaba has with Paul O'Sullivan, and this is the kind of a relationship they have. On the basis of that, then make us take a decision. I'm not going to say, let's call judiciary, let's call judiciary. That's what we asked Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. Who do you refer to when you say judiciary? He couldn't give us. He just spoke about a magistrate. And I said to him, which he was quick to concede, that do you realize it is dangerous to say a magistrate who normally when we speak about judiciary, we refer to judges. But in this case, you're referring to a magistrate. And on the basis of that, you paint the whole judiciary wrong. He was quick to concede. Even that judgment of that magistrate, there's nothing wrong with it. Anyone who's got a problem with that judgment, let that person take that judgment on appeal. There is a recourse for that. Where a judge takes money of Sanlam and get arrested, those are the kind of issues that we must be concerned about. That this is a practical case where judges can be bought and undermine the rule of law. But I'm still to hear which judge did what outside giving wrong judgments. Judges give wrong judgments. And in most cases, their judgments are overturned. It can be that when we're not happy with a judgment, we paint a judge as corrupt. You are going to collapse yourselves, the judiciary. And when we collapse the judiciary and its independence and its good image, all of us are going to be subject of these cartels and criminals, and we'll have no one to run to. At least we still have a judiciary that can protect us from these criminals which are running amok in this country. So I'm making an appeal, colleagues, that even if we want to sound more radical, we must never attack judiciary in a manner we're doing without giving the facts. Let's give the facts and let's deal with them. When we're complaining about NPA, we brought Advocate Batoi, and then he brought Johnson. He said, before I come, well, most of the issues you're talking about, they belong to Johnson. Johnson came, and then Batoi ultimately came. Is there any other prosecutor we're looking for? Let's put the name down. Let's not generalize. There are men and women out there who are prosecuting objectively, who are not involved in this mess we're talking about. And therefore, you can't just say, we must not be scared of prosecutors. Make a name. Give us a specific name. make a case, and let's second that. If no one is seconding that, it falls off and we proceed. We don't have the whole day, the whole time, Chairperson. I don't agree that we must call Begit. Begit said whatever he said about Matala. We went to Matala to test what Kele said about him. He responded in a manner he did. One of the fresh allegations Matala made is, I gave Begit money. If we go to CCTV cameras, will we get that? Yes, you will get that. If we go and ask your protector who followed you to the car where you dropped the cash, working with Begit, will he confirm that in affidavit? Yes, he will confirm that. You have never done any of those things. You have never looked at CCTV cameras. You have never asked for an affidavit of a bodyguard who was there. You say we must call Begit because Begit must come and refute those allegations made by Matala, and then make new allegations about Matala. Then we must go again to that prison to go and ask Matala. Is now in a new prison. Now Begi says this about you. No. If there is anything that comes out of Kele's mouth or Matala's mouth, which is substantive in nature, and we think this is a damaging and damning against a particular witness, we must then go and look for prima facie evidence. At least they gave us some lead. Look for prima facie evidence, and if we find something material on the basis of that, then say to this person, you need to come back. Otherwise, we're going to sit here. This one said this about you. What do you say? And then say the same thing about new things about that person. You go back. This person said this about you without us having anything. This should help us. And that's what Honorable Matesi speaks about. We have no capacity. There are no enough resources to follow up on certain things and get this information ourselves and say, no, we found something so damaging. This guy needs to come back. I will never agree that Begit must come back on the basis of what Matala said. And then we can't say, the way it's so weighty, we even got the following. That's why we want Begit back. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Malema. Chairperson, are you back? It seems that the
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm handing over back to you, Chairperson. Honorable Malema just concluded. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I've raised my hand, Chair.
Chairperson Lekganyane, are you taking over? Honorable Skhosana, I think the way that it's normally done is we go through the rotations, and then if there's any issues, we come back at the end.
No, I wanted to talk about the chair, this chair issue, because we had you, we had Ngola, we had our chairperson. This thing now looks bad, man. We don't understand because I don't know what is happening. Ngola as well has just gone, and the chair has just gone. Now it's you. Maybe you're gonna go as well. We're gonna have another chairperson. What is happening here?
We're suffering because of January 8th.
No, this is completely wrong. Let's say things as they are. We can't have a chairperson. Now we are the third chairperson and we don't know what is happening.
Honorable Skhosana, I do apologize. I think the chairperson had indicated the challenges he was having, but he's back now. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable. Hello, Honorable Sangoni.
Yes, Chair, you are on the chair. Thank you, Chairperson.
Yeah, no, we must apologize. Honorable Skhosana is right. We can't have many chairpersons in one meeting. But before the meeting started, we alerted the meeting about our commitment this week. And just bear with us, honorable members. It is not something that is unusual amongst members of this committee. Apologies like this are recorded in our meetings and they are accepted. It's unfortunate that today they are affecting us the way they do or the way they did. We want to apologize for that. And I think you will understand, Honorable Skosana, it's not because we deliberately want to collapse the meeting or we don't take this meeting serious. We were members and leaders of political parties that have sent us to Parliament. And of course, we can never equate Parliament to any of the political parties because Parliament is the supreme political institution by the constitution of the country. So the point that you raise is a very reasonable and fair point by every measure. You are right. And I think I have also arrived at a place where there is a proper coverage of a network. There might have been one or two speakers that I missed, but the thrust of the discussions in the meeting I have been following. Even the last speaker, Honorable Malema, I heard all what he said. Can we move forward in that regard? And I want to thank you, Honorable Sangoni, for standing in when we could have had difficulties. Is that adequate, Honorable Skosana?
No, it's fine, Chair. It's fine. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your understanding. Your hand is still up. Okay, thank you so much. Can I check, Honorable Matthews, did you have any point that you wanted to make or had you already spoken before Honorable Malem?
No, I haven't, Chair. Just quickly, on the public participation, we are in support of the list that has been submitted. I do think we'll have to relook at the number or the amount of time that we are saying that we'll allocate per witness. It might not be doable. And perhaps we should also look at maybe we must schedule a weekend. And if we do that in advance, I'm sure that each of us will be able to arrange our schedule at least to take these witnesses so we don't fall far behind and we also we do justice to the presentations or the submissions that we've received via public participation. I'm also going to recommend, or we're also going to recommend, Chair, that maybe we must allocate a team to deal specifically with the public participation and preparing the witness statements. In all these witnesses that we have invited with affidavits, sworn affidavits, and I don't think this should be any different. So those that have submitted bullet points or haven't given us evidence in the initial submissions, they should be followed up and that information must be requested from them. It can't be that witnesses that we've invited and that actually have capacity, we've been assisting them with our legal team, and then the others who we are saying they've only submitted bullet points or they haven't submitted evidence, etc., that we must exclude them. So that should not be the basis. Obviously, after the legal team and a dedicated legal team, and perhaps we should look at our legal team in Parliament who can work on that, or the researchers. And if they still don't provide sufficient evidence, then we consider it. But no submission must be disregarded because they've submitted bullet points. That's not fair, and we are not assisting the public. We are here to be able to help them to be able to do their submissions. So we support the list in that regard. We also support the fact that the other matters that we are not going to, that were submitted via public participation and that we are unable to bring towards or bring before the committee, that they are submitted to the relevant portfolio committees, and that we also make sure that we have proper reporting mechanisms, so we make sure that this also doesn't fall by the wayside. We can't be seen as a committee that started a process and then again matters just fall away and we don't follow up. In terms of what the legal team has presented in terms of witnesses, we support the witness list. I do think we need to be a little bit more mindful of the dates. So I think the technical team, Chair, and the legal team should sit. We must be cognitive, number one, that as we are hearing or we're going to be having hearings, there might be people that we need to bring in. So even if we finalize a list now, we might have to add people, and it might be a necessary, the evidence that they present to us might necessitate for us to do that. So we must be cognitive of us doing that, in doing that. So let's also have our diaries, or the diary, or that we have now, our draft program rather, be set up, that maybe we have like at least a week, and if there are any witnesses that we desperately need to bring to the committee based on the hearings or the people that are going to come before us between now and when we conclude, that we are able to schedule that. Remember, we can have public and then also these other witnesses. So let's just be cognitive of that so we don't have to go back and forth. And then we've dealt with the issue of the public representatives, which is Honorable Carl Barnard and Honorable Adams, that we also need to make sure that we put in on the schedule. That's all from us. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Matthys. Just to get you clear on the public submissions, you suggest that we can allocate a weekend to deal with them. Is that your suggestion?
Yes, yeah, that's our recommendation. But let it be done in advance, I think, so we can all schedule our times. And that's given if we are not able to fit everything in as well. But we're happy with the 15 people that has been recommended by Ms. Nicolette. I think she's done a sterling job, so we can move with that.
Including the civil society body?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Bangazita.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I think we have largely been covered by the Honorable Sangoni's interventions. Just for the sake of emphasis on the issue of online submission of witnesses, I think we are vehemently opposed to that. I mean, they need to actually come physically before this committee. On the issue of the public submissions, I think we agree with the proposal that has already been made. If honorable members can remember, the Honorable Begicele actually made a very strong plea in relation to the issue of bail, the granting of bail and its negative impact on the overall fight against crime. I'm not too sure whether this matter actually would reside with the committee, or we want to allocate it to other committees. But he was actually very concerned about the disproportionate granting of bail, to a point where he actually even made an example of one hardcore criminal who had actually been given 6 bails in a row, and the impact of that on crime prevention. I don't know whether that issue can actually be looked into by us, or we would allocate it to a relevant body. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you so much, Bangazita. Maybe when we deal with the report and the recommendations, we can look at where we can slot that part, the last part that you have spoken to. Thank you so much for your inputs, Honorable Sols.
And thank you, Honorable Chair. We agree with starting with General Patlan. Further, the witness, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, must appear physically before us. And then on public submissions, we have no problem with hearing the oral submission of Ms. Mashale. And then, Chair, over the festive period, we've received a submission from a member of the public that reached out to us. Her husband was murdered a few years ago, including 4 other people allegedly to silence them. She is currently in hiding. Another key witness to this was put under witness protection, who is a film producer. And to date, nothing has happened with the case. So they are alleging that there is foul play from SEPS and obviously interference, and they've got substantial proof of this. I just thought it important to mention it here and perhaps request for me to have that information that is sent to us to then send it to our legal counsel for consideration under public submissions as well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Chairperson, I'm not going to repeat what other colleagues have already said. I'm covered and I'm in agreement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vessels. Honorable James.
Thank you so much, Chair. On the first point, the public participation and submission, we support the proposal as well as the report. I think something that we just want to put on record is since the beginning, we have made proposals and suggestions as well as I remember EFF at one point, for the appointment of an investigator, a forensic investigator, because all of these witnesses have appeared before us. They run their mouths, they mention someone, and then we go on a wild goose chase without basically verifying any of the information. And this is why we now have, members suggesting that Mr. Bekitele comes back based on what Mr. Matlala has said. If we're going to take that approach, we're going to be sitting here until 2030. We haven't verified sort of any of the information that any of these witnesses has put before us. We have the statements, we have the affidavits, but that is all we have. So I think at some point we need to also ask ourselves, with everyone coming forward, what is the weight and what is actually tied to the accusations, the allegations of General Mkhwanazi, and at which point do we say, you know what, let us now take decisions and let us make our submissions, because that is ultimately what South Africans are waiting for. I think that is the first concern. And in line with that, we would then like to also support the EFF's request for additional resources, even though we almost like at the final push, if I can call it that. We'd like to support the request for additional resources for the legal team to ensure that there's efficiency in everything that they do going forward right now. I think it's very important. Otherwise, we're going to come to the end of February and we're going to find that we haven't sort of crossed all our T's and dotted our I's, and we're going to find ourselves having to ask for another extension. So I think in terms of resources, we have pleaded with the committee and with Parliament since the onset to please ensure that we capacitate the ad hoc committee properly in order to sort of fulfill our mandate. I think the other thing was we are happy to hear from Mrs. Mashiele. The one thing that stood out for me there when Nicolette presented, when she also put in brackets, no evidence provided. Like I said, we didn't have that for any of the other witnesses, and the fact that she presented her evidence or her information in bullet point form, that has never been an issue with everyone else. How they present to us is neither here or there. That is for the legal team to actually provide guidance. Another concern for us as Action SA is the protection of witnesses. We're calling all these people. We've seen what has happened over the last 2 months, and obviously has raised public outrage and concern. What processes do we have in place as the ad hoc to sort of measure the threat, on witnesses when they come forward with the information? If we're saying we have sort of 15 new witnesses lined up, how do we ensure that we've taken the necessary, I'm not sure what you call it in SAPS, maybe an analysis in terms of their safety? If we can also maybe have a look at doing that. When it comes to Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, that man has been running amok. He must come and appear in person. There's absolutely no way we are going to listen to his statement or information virtually. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Everything else we are happy with. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable James. Honorable members, my understanding on these two matters that have been presented by Ms. Van Zyl and the legal team is that, number one, there is a general agreement that at the end of the hearings, we should invite, in fact, it's a restatement, because the committee has made that decision before, that General Mkhwanazi would have to be called to come and maybe give a reply to whatever presentations would have been made since his appearance before the committee. And number two, that the appearance of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan and Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi should be physical, and that whatever records we have should be used to have them appearing physically before the committee. And that the hearings on Wednesday must start with General Patani, and then he should be allocated 1 day. And then on Wednesday and Friday, it will be General Kumalo. Number four, that there is general agreement on the public submissions, inclusive of the civil society submissions that have been made. The recommendations are accepted that the 15 public submissions plus the civil society submissions should be provided for oral presentation. And Honorable Sangoni has also said that there are submissions that she will also want to bring for committee consideration that will be formally presented and considered, including the matter that the Honorable Sols has just presented. I think those are the matters that we should be able to give attention as a committee. Probably in our next meeting, like we said, we may meet on Monday in case there are issues that we will want to deal with. So those matters should be considered in our next meeting, Honorable Sols and Honorable Sangoni. So now what becomes consequential is that because there is a timetable which has been presented, and when this meeting started, we said the reason why we start with public submissions was because the recommendations that were going to be presented by Ms. Van Zyl may impact or may militate for the amendment of the timetable. So what then means is that inclusive of the suggestions that Honorable Matthys has made, if it's possible that we can identify a weekend which we can allocate to deal with the public submissions, or if it's possible to integrate them in the timetable, we should be able to do that. And an improved or an amended timetable will then be presented to the meeting, probably next week, Monday. For sure, we would have, by that time, we would have, it will be shortly before we listen to, we resume with our hearings. If members agree, but we will check with the members for their availability between now and next week, Monday, what time will be appropriate for us to have a meeting to consider those matters. And with regard to, yes, the amendment will also feature witness Honorable Kola Barnard and witness Honorable Adams. And then with regard to members of the judiciary, I think that if there is any evidence that compels us to call a witness before the committee, let's make that evidence available. And if honorable members remember very, very well, when we started with the conduct of the hearings, we said that we are going to call General Mkhwanazi because he is the one who made allegations. And then he came here, he made allegations. From his statements, we identified witnesses. And there were other witnesses that subsequently came after his appearance. They also made allegations, and the allegations that they made triggered the identification of more witnesses. For instance, the name of Paul O'Sullivan came to the picture after it was mentioned in the statements of General Mkhwanazi and in particular, Mr. Nkabinde, who went at length to give evidence that implicated the name of Paul O'Sullivan. And so I want to plead with members that this is the approach that we should take to identify any potential witness that should come before the committee. And then one other matter which has been successfully canvassed in this meeting is that the members of this committee agree that even when we accept the recommendations on public submissions, focus must not only be on those 15 plus 5 or 6 civil society submissions. The many other submissions that have been made before the committee also have to be attended to. So there should be an approach on how those matters are attended to. If they are referred to respective oversight bodies or committees of parliament, they would be referred. If some of them have to be referred to respective institutions for written responses, they should be referred. And it will also be very important that those matters are conclusively dealt with, and the people who would have made those submissions, they must know how their matters have been attended, and we will determine a way in which they get a feedback on those matters. So from here, honorable members, we will then give the technical team time to go and read together with the legal team to go and relook at the timetable and see how the amendments that have been made here will impact on our program. And the revised program should be made available and where possible even be circulated to the members before the envisaged meeting of Monday, or any other day that we agree on to have that meeting. Can I check with you, the parties, if the summary is adequate? Because I missed some parts of the meeting. I think it will be proper for me to check with yourself that I'm properly summarizing the two items. ANC?
Thank you, Chair. No, I think you've properly summarized it, Chairperson. Just one item that you may have missed while you were out was a report by Honorable Cameron that there's a motion before the Portfolio Committee on Police on gang violence, which may influence their program. But if you're going to be checking with all members on availability, I think that covers it. But in terms of the summary, I think we're fine, Chairperson. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much for that important addition. MKP?
Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry, I just want to go back a bit, Chair. Am I allowed?
Yes, no, you are allowed.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to put this matter, once and for all. Hence, we agreed, and in some of these public statements, some of the submission by the public, it's they are complaining about judges, and indeed, Chair, there's an issue about the judges. In fact, the Honorable Malema, in many forums, after SONA, after court cases, there's the very same sentiments which I have, the very same thing which we have to probe, that judges, hence I'm saying, he said himself that some judges are receiving bribes from white business. Honorable Malema himself. Now, when I raise this issue, is that like the judiciary, he said the judiciary has collapsed in this country. Now we have a forum where we have to probe these allegations. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? And I can give evidence. I've got several of those speeches by Honorable Malema saying judges are corrupt. Some of them are protecting the sitting president, not me himself. But now, when we are talking about the judges, it's a big issue. The judges, if there's judges which have to appear before us, we said the judiciary in this country has collapsed, unless something has happened in the last few months. But we said no one is above the law. No one is above the law. Now, Chair, I just want to raise this issue, Chair, with you, that before we close, Honorable Nomvalo, if you remember well, Advocate Johnson and Advocate Patoi, we asked them to submit because they were not prepared. They said they were not aware. Did they submitted all the documents we have asked them to do? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's do like this. The submissions of the two witnesses, we will follow up to check if they indeed made submissions. If they haven't, we will give them a deadline by which they must have submitted. And then on the first point that you made, I don't want it to be a matter between you and the Honorable Malema. I think the meeting listened to your views, both of you, and we must not revisit those views, because what comes out of the inputs that both of you made is that if there, and there is nobody who denies that there may be problems in the judiciary, but what has come out unambiguously in the meeting is that if there is any tinge of evidence that implicates any judge, let that information or evidence be made available so that the committee can be in a position to make a decision and say, Judge Skosana, Judge Malema, you are being invited before the committee for you to come and respond to the following allegations. And I think if that evidence has been presented before the committee and the committee ignored it or turned a blind eye to it, it's our collective responsibility to remind each other to say, there is this witness who came before us with this evidence and it's like we're not giving it attention, or there is this public submission that has been made. And we had hoped that this submission will be equally considered. But so far, you will agree with me, Honorable Member, that it will be like looking for a needle in a haystack. And we're not saying that that evidence will not come out tomorrow during the currency of the committee. If that evidence comes, let it be made available. Like if you listen to what Honorable Sols has said, that he has been approached and he's reporting this before the committee. Standing here as the chair, I'm saying to him, in the next meeting when we will be gathering like this, we are going to afford him an opportunity to present that matter formally for the committee to be able to decide on it. So we will still make that humble request that if there is any tinge of evidence that implicates any judge that requires the attention of that committee, let it be made available. It's part of our terms of reference. The committee will look at it, deliberate, and arrive at a decision like matters were rotated today and honorable members were able to express themselves on every matter.
Yeah, I think, Chair, you sum up it very, very well on that to say, it's part of our term of reference. We are dealing with allegations here. Even if there's no evidence, we have to probe those. Every member who appeared here, there were allegations against them. Same if there's an allegation against the judge. Let's not change now the term of reference. We are dealing with allegations here.
Yes, no, I agree.
So that's my thing.
I agree 100% with you.
Thank you, Chair.
Let's say anything that is of a probative value, let it come and the committee will probe.
No, I agree. I agree, Chair. Hence I was saying all these things which I'm talking about, the issue of judges being accused of being corrupt is been for years. It's not something which is started now in the ad hoc committee. Now we have an opportunity. Those allegations which were made against those judges, let's talk about them. If those judges, we've got names, let's name them. Hence, we put names even in the list before when we started. We mitigated to say, this one, we want this judge to come. There's names there.
Okay.
And the list, we submitted the list. Okay. Even some of them are not judged, some of them were not called, because hence we say we can't call everybody. That we understand, that we won't be able to finish this ad hoc committee. But I'm saying it should not be now that I'm the one who just wake up and said judges must come to the ad hoc committee. Judges, there's accusations. Hence, I'm saying even in this public, the 15 people are accusing judges in that. And if those judges' names are there, let's call them, because we are probing allegations here. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. I think when we meet next week, we will consider those allegations that have been made. So if there is any information or any allegations that you know, honorable member, we are going to request that you bring those allegations to the meeting.
I will check.
And then,
Thank you.
and then the committee will consider those allegations and make a decision whether there is a need to invite the respective witnesses or whether the matter is not of probative value. Thank you so much. Can I check with the DA if the summary we have given is sufficient?
Yes, Chair. Thank you, Chair. It's sufficient from our side. I just wanted to mention again, in case you missed it earlier, as the Honourable Sangoni mentioned regarding the gang inquiry, which was a motion that was adopted last year, end of 2025. We will obviously communicate accordingly, but it may pose slight challenges regarding attendance, but it's just important that you know. But obviously, we'll see how well everyone can accommodate each other. I just wanted to give an early warning of that gang inquiry.
Okay. Thank you so much. EFF?
There's Nomvalo, Chair. Nomvalo was, yeah, okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. There's only one chairperson here. Chair, we fully agree with what you are saying. And I'm happy that you dealt with the matter of judges in a manner in which you did. There is nothing of any value that is going to come before you against judges. Nothing. It's just a cheap talk, and talk is cheap. I mean, we've gone to hardened criminals. We've gone into prisons. By now, if anyone had anything against a judge, they would have brought it forward. You know, it's just posturing to create an impression that we're not scared of anything when we don't have anything. There's nothing. I've said so many things about the judiciary. I still say them. And even in my input, I made a point that I have a problem with the Constitutional Court and the way it handles the parliamenta. But it is not all of the judiciary. It's the Constitutional Court, and they are not above the Constitution. They are a product of the Constitution. They are a subject of the Constitution themselves. That was my input. Nothing has changed from that. Only if you listen to the substance of what I'm saying. And I'm not very far from what the MK speaker says, but I can tell him now, and I can tell him just the two of us, he's got nothing on any judge, nothing. And therefore, you don't speak about judges like that if there's nothing substantive against them. And that's what you Chair, should from time to time emphasize that you don't just say there are allegations here and we've brought names. If you have brought names before, what stops you from bringing names now? And say to us the same way we say the honorable members of parliament were not here, are not on the list. We're putting them on the list. We're very specific about that. And I was very impressed by that point because it has escaped me. And it was going to appear like we're using this process to defend each other. So I'm happy that honorable members remember that point, and I'm now going back to it. The same thing with the judges. If names were raised before, Adam's name was raised before. And when you presented names now, Adam's names all of a sudden, Honorable Connor Barnett's names and Adam's are not here. We are being reminded, these are the names we need. Put the name of a judge. Stop shouting. Put the name of a judge. Stop being a coward. Tell us which judge did the wrong thing.
Honorable Malema.
Chair,
Tell us which judge did anything. Tell us about the judge.
Respond, Chair.
I'm going to
Honorable
respond.
Malema.
If the member
Let's
thinks
let
You
about
can
our
respond
members,
when you
I'm
think you are
listening.
superior than all of us.
Honorable,
Respond.
No,
Tell us the name of
this
a
member,
judge.
this
let's
member, you
lower
must
our
Tell
call
us
me
a
to
temperature.
name
order.
of a
Lower
judge. Stop
temperature.
being a
Do
coward.
that.
Tell us
No,
the name of a
the
judge.
coward is himself who was
Honorable,
telling
Tell
us
us a name
that
of
the
a
judges are
judge.
corrupt.
Tell
Let's
us the
lower
name
our
of a
His
judge.
chair
temperature.
is
You
him. I
don't
can
have.
even give
Honorable
you names, Chair.
Malema.
He's the one who
Honorable
Give us
gave
a
us
Malema.
name.
names. Malema today is flip-flopping
Give
because
us
Honorable
a
he's
name of
Malema.
a
facing charges
judge.
on
I'm
the
not saying
23.
that. You are saying it. Give us
He's
the name of
trying
a
to buy
judge.
their face here.
You are a
Honorable,
coward. Give us the
No,
name of
a
a
Honorable
coward
judge.
is you.
Malema.
We are trying to buy their face because we are
We
going to
don't buy
vote on
faces.
the
You must ask
23rd.
your president. Is now looking
You
after
are the
cattle
one who
because
said
of us. We don't buy faces.
all these things that
Give us
is
the
not
name of
supposed
a
to happen.
judge. Don't scream.
Today we
We
are
are asking
changing.
for a name.
We
Don't
are
scream. We're asking for
Honorable
a
flip-flopping.
name.
Malema.
You
Honorable
are
Skosana.
flip-flopping. You are the one who
Order,
tell us
Stop
that
screaming
order,
judges
and
are
give us the
order,
name of
corrupt.
a judge. You are screaming. Give us
order,
the
You
name
are
of a
the one
Happy
judge.
who
New
said
Year,
so.
Honorable Skosana and Honorable Malema. Happy New Year. Happy New
He's the
Year.
one. He's
order,
Compliments.
Malema
order,
today who's
order,
changing.
order, honorable members. Order.
He's the
Happy
one,
New
Chair.
Year, comrades.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
He's a
Wait,
flip-flopper
wait,
of notes.
You mention judges. The next thing you say, I must give names.
It's you
Honorable
who tell us
Malema.
about judges that are corrupt. Today we are
You don't know what you
changing.
then you don't know what you are talking about. You
No,
don't
I'm
know what
talking
you are
about
talking
you.
about.
No, you are the
You
one
say
who
there are
Malema,
judges who
said
are
that judges
corrupt,
are
and then
corrupt.
I must give names. You said that judges that are
Compliments of
corrupt,
the
Happy
and
New
new
then I
Year.
year,
must give names.
honorable
Happy New
members.
Year.
Honorable
Give a
Malema
name.
Happy
and
Give
New
a
Year,
name of a
Honorable
Honorable
judge.
Skosana.
Malema and Honorable
I'm not
Skosana.
Stop
making
being
Happy
a
any
New Year.
coward. Give a name of a judge.
judge. It's you who've been
Honorable
accusing
Compliments
Malema.
of
judges
the
for
new
the last
season.
11 years.
Then you don't know
Last
what you are
11 years
talking
you've been
about.
talking about
Honorable
Then you don't
judges.
know
Malema and
what you
You
are
Honorable
talking about.
Skosana. Honorable Malema and Honorable Skosana. No, honorable members. We can't conduct ourselves like this. If I leave you to do this, I will be failing in my responsibility as the chair, and I was becoming afraid that you can speak like this for 365 days. Honorable Malema, I want to request you to withdraw in the manner in which you addressed the point that was made by Honorable Skosana to say that he is a coward and that he is just posturing. If you can please withdraw that statement.
I'm asking for a name of a judge. That's what I'm asking for. And then he rudely interrupts me. And I was not talking to him. I'm talking through you. I'm saying, give us a name of a judge. And then he gives us the name of Julius Malema. Since when am I a judge?
I have called your name before Honorable Skosana came in to speak. Because when I called your name, I wanted to request you to withdraw that statement that says, don't be coward, this is just posturing. If you can please, Honorable Member, withdraw that part.
I withdraw.
Thank you so much. Honorable Skosana, can you please withdraw everything that you said after Honorable Malema mentioned the word coward and posture? Can you please withdraw everything that you said thereafter?
I just want to say, if you say everything, like what, Che? Because if you say everything, you say I must withdraw to say Malema was accusing judges for the last 11 years of corruption.
No, it's not what I'm saying. That part you said when we gave you chance to speak. What you said after he mentioned the word coward and posturing. Remember, I came between the two of you.
Because he's attacking me, Chair. He
No, Chair. No,
but
Chair.
it's fine, Chair.
This Honorable Kasana is out of order because when he was speaking, no, it's Leanne Matasia. You just, no, it's Leanne Matasia. It's not Kasani. When you interrupted, when you were busy talking, Honorable Malema did not interrupt you. No, because the chair is not asking you to apologize. You just come in and talk whenever the hell you want. Who do you think you are here? Every time he must be putting up with your rubbish. No, Chair, you must tell him to even withdraw everything he said because Honorable Malema was still on the floor and then he interrupted. It's out of order and I'm calling order on you, Chair.
Honorable Matthews, no, you can't call order on me because what you
Can,
do,
Chair, because you're supposed to ask him to withdraw anything. He interrupted Honorable Malema and he started
what you do
talking.
is unacceptable. Listen here, honorable members. I have spoken to Honorable Malema, and Honorable Malema has withdrawn the part that I requested him to withdraw.
I withdraw, Chair. And please ask Matthews not to come in between. You are talking to me. You are not talking to me. Go ahead.
No.
Thank you.
No, I'll come in because you always
We
interrupting and
must
be always
Chair,
quiet. I'm not
we
dealing
must
with the
not do
issue of
that.
She's coming
withdrawing.
again, Chair.
Yeah, I will
we
because
must
when
not do, we
you
must not
must
do
learn
that.
to shut up
Honorable
Chair,
when you're
Skosana,
not
we
called.
must not do that.
Chair, he says I must learn to
Honorable
do.
I
Skosana
will
Sata,
come in because
and
we're
call her
tired
Honorable
of
to
you,
Matthews.
order.
Kosana. We sick.
Chair,
No, you
can
need to be
call her
called to
to
order. We're
order?
sick and tired of you always interrupting.
Honorable
Everybody.
Skosana and
We are
Honorable
sick and tired
Matthews.
of you too. Who do you think you are?
I don't
Honorable
interrupt. I
Skosana
don't
and
interrupt.
We are
Honorable Matthews.
interrupting.
Yeah, I am
The chair is
now.
talking
I
to
am
me.
now. I am now interrupting because you interrupted. You spoke for a very long time.
So
Nobody
you've
said
got a right
anything.
to
When Honorable
interrupt.
Malema spoke
You've
you
got a
say
right
you
to.
interrupting.
You've got a
I'm
right to
calling
interrupt.
point on. Yes, because I need to call you
You've
to
got
order
a right
because nobody does. Yes,
interrupt.
I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, so you can continue interrupting. It's fine.
Yeah, I have a
I'm
right
listening
to
to you,
interrupt
Chair.
when
I'm
you
not
don't
going
know how
to
to
listen to
conduct
Honorable
yourself.
Matthews.
Well,
I'm not
don't
going to
listen
listen
to
to
me.
Honorable Matthews because
We wish you could just
I don't want
understand
to say
basic
things
things
here.
about how to conduct yourself in a basic committee. You need to go to organizational
Three
meetings
fingers
and
are
learn how
pointing back
to
at
conduct
you.
yourself into a
Three
meeting.
fingers are
Yes.
throwing back at
It
you.
can be my whole two hands can be pointing back at me. Go to organizational meetings and learn how to conduct yourself in a meeting.
You are not going to lecture me by anything. You disrupted Parliament for many years. You can't tell me anything. Chair, I'm listening to you.
Honorable members, I think we have given you enough time to say what you wanted to say. We have had
He must withdraw Sangweni as well. I'm not Sangweni, but he must withdraw that mistaken reference to me.
Honorable Sangweni.
It was Matthews.
Honorable Sangweni, please.
I'm sorry, Chair.
Honorable Skosana and Honorable Matthews, we have given you a chance to say what you wanted to say. Some of the things that you said, every time we see you, are going to remember what you said. Honorable Skosana, I was coming to address you after we have laid to rest the matter with Honorable Malema, and he has accordingly withdrawn. And I requested you to
withdraw.
To withdraw.
Withdraw, Chair. Thank you.
No, I have not finished speaking. The reason why the meeting deteriorated the way it did was because when I was still addressing you, you interjected me. And then the meeting deteriorated. Can you please withdraw the statements that you made after Honorable Malema has used the words coward and posturing? Can you please withdraw those statements?
I withdraw, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable Skosana and Honorable Matthews, can you please withdraw the statements that you made against each other?
Sure, Chair, I withdraw that we must go and attend organizational meetings so he can know how to conduct himself in meetings.
Honorable Matthews, can you please withdraw the statements that you made against Honorable Skosana?
Chair, I just did. Was I muted?
Honorable Matthews, can you please withdraw the statements that you made against Honorable Skosana?
Chair, can you hear me? Chair?
Yes, I can hear you, Honorable Member.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you. Honorable Matthews.
Chair, I just did. Must I say it again?
Yeah, I think the simplest you can say is just to say, I withdraw.
I withdraw that Honorable
Thank you.
Kasana must attend meetings so that he knows
Thank you
how
so
to
much.
conduct himself in this meeting. Thank you.
Honorable Skosana, can you please withdraw the statements that you made against Honorable Matthys?
I withdraw that. Next time you must learn not to interfere when you are talking to me. Thank you.
Honorable Skosana, can you please withdraw the statement that you made against Honorable Matthys?
I've withdrawn. Hence, he's saying that he's withdrawing because he said, okay, he still repeated that, but you did not say to her, he must withdraw.
Okay.
So I'm saying that I'm putting weight on it to say she must stop interfering when you are talking to me. I withdraw.
Honorable Skosana and Honorable Matthys, can you please apologize for your conduct in this meeting?
I do. I apologize, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Matthys.
I apologize profusely for allowing Honorable Kasana to get under my skin.
Okay.
You see, Chair. You see, Chair. Now I must accept that I'm going under somebody's skin.
Yeah, no, that is the unfortunate part
I
that
know.
she's saying, and you know when as the chair I request a member to apologize. It's not because I want to spite a member, but it's about upholding and maintaining the decorum of Parliament and its committee proceedings. Honorable Skosana, you mistakenly mentioned the name of Honorable Sangoni when you were being addressed by when you were being addressed by Honorable Matthys. May you please withdraw and apologize to Honorable Sangweni?
I withdraw and my 1,000 apology to Honorable Sangweni.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, we have come to the end of the discussions on the two items. No, we haven't come because I still had to check with the IFP and the Patriotic Alliance and the Freedom Front Plus and the Action SA. If they agree
I was still on the platform, unless you're saying you have taken away my rights.
I request you to accept that what you said was sufficient without being pompous. I just request you to accept that you might have spoken adequately. Thank you so much. Pangazita.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Now we satisfied with your summary, Honorable Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sols.
Satisfied with your summary, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Vessels. Honorable James.
We satisfied, thanks, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, the last item was the response to the response that we have been given by the NPA. So I'm going to request that the legal team should go and look at that response and come back and give the committee a feedback. The legal team of Parliament look at that response and come and give the committee a feedback, including recommendations on how the committee should finalize the matter. Is that adequate, African National Congress?
Yes, Chair, thank you.
Thank you so much, MKP.
Chair, no, our understanding is that the response should not only come from the NPA. We also made a request of some information from IDEC as well. So we're hoping to get an update in that regard from the legal team.
Okay.
If I may remind them what the information was about, it was in relation to the arrest of General Khumalo, the referral.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, but it's separate from the Paul O'Sullivan matter. I thought, so the part of IDEC must also, no, it's IPIT, because the allegations were that Paul O'Sullivan will even go to IPIT offices and convene meetings. So it means when the legal team comes back with the report on the charges against Paul O'Sullivan, or the status of the charges against Paul O'Sullivan, there should also be an explanation from IPIT. And number two is that we must also get a response from IDEC on the matters relating to the arrest of General Khumalo. Is that adequate, Honorable Nomvalo?
Yes, Chair. No, actually, I don't know, but the letter with regards to Paul O'Sullivan, I think was written to us, to the Senior Council. And it also related to charges which were withdrawn, charges against Paul O'Sullivan, which were withdrawn by the MPA. I think it went to that extent.
Yes,
But
that
the
is
legal
why
team can remind us.
Yeah, that's why we say they must come back with a feedback and also recommend an approach.
I hear you.
Is that what? Okay.
Yeah,
The
no, I
DA?
hear you. Thank you.
The DA?
I'm very sorry, my signal's extremely bad. The DA is fine. We covered so far, we have nothing further to add.
Okay. So thank you so much. The EFF?
Mkhwanazi.
Agreed. The IFP?
Agreed, Chair.
The PA?
Covered, Chair.
Thank you so much. The Freedom Front Plus?
Agreed, Chairperson.
Thank you so much. The Action SA?
We find Chair.
Thank you so much, honorable members. That was the last item on the agenda. The rest of the items that have not been fully exhausted, as they were mentioned in the summary, will then be attended to in our meeting next week. I want to take this opportunity and thank you so much for your time and for your energy and your commitment to the work of this ad hoc committee. Bonani, are we having any announcements?
Chair, none from our side.
Thank you so much. The meeting stands adjourned.
Long live the chair.
Thank you.